Raceway Park. We're back with NASCAR 07 content for the remainder of the midweek, leading up into, of course, next weekend's live commentary streams from Martinsville for the NASCAR penultimate playoff races. But as far as this one goes here today, we have 13 races to go in this Busch Series season, 4 straight Busch Series races for the next 4 nights. And we are coming in off our first win in 5 races in the last race, which took place on Friday night last week. In that race, we were able to get a win in dominating fashion. Yesterday. Not last Friday. Yesterday, we got the win at Red Bull Raceway. And that was in dominating fashion. We led all but 25 laps in the race. Pretty good win for us. Hopefully, we can go on and do some more of the same here today. This race is a little shorter in length, 200 laps. Last night's 300 laps on a similarly length racetrack, so this should be a little bit quicker. And should be a one-stop race. It was supposed to be a one-stopper for us yesterday. We ended up having to pit twice because of damage that we sustained during a long green flag run in that one. We only had 1 caution entirely in the race yesterday as well. So hopefully all goes good in this one. And we can keep the car clean, keep it at the front of the field, and continue to grow our points lead over Tony Stewart again. Qualified on the pole. Tony Stewart is starting in the 3rd place position. We were quick in practice as well. Let's get this Kroger 200 underway. Tuesday night, IRP short track NASCAR racing. Let's go. And overdrove that first turn. Barely kept it off the 39 of Kurt Busch. I thought we were guaranteed to make some contact there. Not the case. And Boyer's clear up off of turn 2 to lead the opening lap of the race. I see Tony Stewart got into that outside lane. And our teammate, Kevin Harvick, going to get up into the 2nd place position right off the rip. We had some really good pull-away speed at Red Bull Raceway yesterday. Dominant car of the evening, not just by laps led, but just, we had the fastest car. We were pulling away from everybody. We'll see what kind of speed we have in this one here today. I was kind of toying around in practice as to what could be the fast line here. I feel like I can get this middle groove to work, like a lane off the bottom. I felt like there was something here. Like this lane right here where I run like kind of half on the hashed white line, half above. Is that Jeff Burton bias too? I was looking too much out of the rear view. A little too far wide in the center of the corner for my liking. I can't tell who that is behind me. I don't think it's Jeff Burton. Elliott Sadler maybe in the 90? Could be a fantasy driver of some sort. I'm really, for the life of me, trying to figure out who that is. I can't figure it out. Well, Harvick was in 2nd for a brief moment. He's still in 3rd. Running Jeremy Mayfield. He's losing a little bit of ground from these top 2. But yeah, kind of diamond cutting the corner off. I could either enter low, go wide in the middle, or kind of start wide and then cut middle off. Really like this line of starting wider and then just kind of cutting middle off. Or I can kind of stay middle all the way through, honestly. I think we have enough speed in the car, as long as somebody doesn't get dangerously close to me, to try to make a move to the inside. I'd like to think I should be able to keep the lead. I mean, we could get a rival behind us and they could just send it off into the corner and send me up the track. But we don't have that right now, so I could take advantage of not having to run right on that yellow line and not have to be too defensive with it. I mean, 18.6s, 18.7s is about what I was running in practice. It's the Walmart car. I thought I didn't know who that was at first. There's no way he's got the quickest car in the field today. How about the Walmart car leading here at IRP? He hasn't led a lap yet. Boyer still led that last lap at the line. Was holding on strong on the outside of the racetrack. Now going to cut right back down to the bottom. Great crossover move by Boyer. Able to get right back to the lead despite getting past. I crowded him quite a bit. I'm still crowding him. Really trying not to get past here. Nope, did not lead that lap. We're not going to lead them all today. I'll tell you what, though, this Walmart car's putting up a fight. I don't know what his name is. Just keeping Kevin Harvick behind us. Well, might have a good little race here. There we go. Well, maybe on the very initial short run, it's okay to run down. Or I should say off the bottom. Harvick going to get right back in a second again. Wade, thanks for tuning in. Get the sleds ready. I don't know about you, but where I live, it was about 80 degrees today. I think I remember seeing record high temperatures is what they were saying for today and tomorrow up here in the Toledo, Ohio area. It did hit 80 apparently earlier. I think it's supposed to also tomorrow. Good old random Ohio weather. It was a high of 53. Was it Friday? Thursday or Friday last week? What are the 2 days? It's like mid to low 50s for a high. Today, 80 degrees. Tomorrow, 80 degrees. Like, what is this? Weather's so bipolar. All right, so the Walmart car was able to lead one lap, and he's not even in the top 4 anymore. Because now you got, obviously, Boyer back in the lead. Tony Stewart's in second. Jeremy Mayfield third. And Dale Earnhardt Jr. is in fourth. Tony Stewart overdrives the car immensely in turn 1. He's going to lose second to Jeremy Mayfield. He was pushing extremely hard trying to get underneath the 2 of Boyer. I think I'm going to kind of stay wide. If I feel that they have a good run on me, that I'm in danger of losing the bottom lane, that would be about the only way I'm going to cut down and try to hold the bottom, like right here. Jeremy Mayfield was really closing in. I really like this track on this game, though. I do feel like this is some multi-groove racing that you could actually get in at this track. Jeremy Mayfield going to lead now. Clear. Boyer got it back. Desperately don't want Tony Stewart to lead, but I think he's going to be in a great spot to do so. Yep. 5 bonus points for Tony Stewart. He's going to lead his first lap of the race. Little contact down into turn 1. Slight bump and run for Boyer. Some good little racing, though. 25 laps in. I haven't been sledding since I was a little kid. I could... Well... Yeah, I was probably in middle school. If I had to guess, probably 12, 13, 14, somewhere around there, I would say the last time I was sledding. I feel like ever since about that time period, it only really snows, like a big enough snowfall to really get some good sled hills, like maybe 3 or 4 times a year, if that. Or we get like 3+ inches of snow in one accumulation. We get a lot of, dustings every few days, half inch, but not as often. And he's still going to try to block the bottom. Boyer tried to use the bumper to get by Tony Stewart that time. Tony's definitely looking quick. Pinching Boyer down on that yellow line is going to make it hard for Clint to try to get the drive off needed to complete this pass. Contact. It is a short track. Smoke Boyer show again. Yeah, it does look like that. It wasn't like that till just a couple laps ago, but after starting third, he got back into second. Oh, that was a beautiful crossover. Didn't lead a lap out of it, but it looked pretty. Right back down onto the bottom groove of the racetrack again, and Boyer again right back to the lead. I like this middle to bottom, or middle to upper groove. Not upper groove, because they're not running like all the way near the wall, but I do like running on that white hash line. The lower one, obviously, not the second one. And I get really good grip there. I get great rotation in the center of the corner, but Tony Stewart's so quick that I can't run that line because he's just so fast around the bottom. I have to take that line away from him. Got a couple cars on pit road with engine failures, I would assume. I did not see any of those cars pit recently, but they're there. Stewart tried to put the bumper to Boyer a couple corners ago. He's going to make the pass. Yeah, that was on me. That was all me. He just runs me so tight that I can't get back to the gas right when I want to. I did make a slight air pressure change after qualifying. Try to help loosen the car up a little bit. Oh my gosh! That was unnecessary. It's almost down in the grass after he hit me. He wants to lead all these laps, doesn't he? I think we've got him in the sweet spot, honestly. Like this middle to upper line. Really get that cut middle off. There's the cut. Jeez, Tony. Jeez, Tony. What was that all about, man? He's just trying. That's 3 times I've gotten underneath him. He just about wrecks me. He's about to get sent one of these times. I don't know how much more patience I have left. Ty, thanks for tuning in. Appreciate you listening at work. Come on. Boyer back to the inside of Stewart. Stewart's probably going to hit him again. I mean, what is this? Like, how am I supposed to pass the guy? That's twice he's driven me down into the grass. I don't think I got the pull away speed on him. I don't understand why he's so upset. I mean, like, if he's still upset over Chicago, get over it. It was like 6 races ago. He did that to himself that time. All he's doing is damaging both of our cars. I definitely don't think I've got the pull away speed. Time to wreck him. I'm really trying not to. I don't want to cause an incident. I made contact with him once on accident. I overdrove the corner, and he's body slamming me every single time since. Let the cursing begin. I'm trying to restrain myself. We got a long ways to go. I don't want to get upset this early in the race. Come on, get that drive off. Try to beat him back down into the next corner. Ah, there we go. He overdrove it. Look at that. He tried to run into me again, and he missed me. I'm assuming that's what happened. He sailed it off into turn 3. He lost 2 spots. Tony Stewart back to 4th. Now we can really start to let it eat. All right. Hopefully. I do think I have to back up the middle of the corner just a little bit more, running this wider entry line. I'm not getting the cut I was able to get right at the beginning of the run. I think that's why I settled in nice those first dozen laps or so. There we go. I got the cut that time. Kind of run that middle groove. I can't get the cut in 1 and 2. I can get the cut in 3 and 4. Try sailing in a little more, starting bottom. There we go. Okay. Was able to get a cut that time. I just got to find a rhythm. It's nice that I actually have a little bit of time to be able to do it. Try to figure something out. Well, Tony Stewart gets back in here and cleans my clock again. Still know it's going to happen. Stephon Diggs, torn ACL. That stinks. Hoping Kenny Wallace and Jeremy Mayfield keep Tony Stewart back there at all costs. Yeah, we definitely don't have the pull away speed like we did at Red Bull Raceway. I think I need to free this car up a little bit. I did a little bit after qualifying because I didn't make a huge or like a really long run in practice. I only went like 20 laps. I felt it kind of slowly tightening up. So I figured, all right, it's going to be good for the short run for qualifying for about the first 12 laps. And then it's getting tight. And I can't get the cut in the center of the corner I want to run this middle line on entry. It really stinks when I get cars around me because I'm too tight to run the bottom. Like, can I run the bottom if I back the corners up enough? Yes, but then I'm going to be extremely slow. And I'll probably start backing this field up. And Tony Stewart making a pass right now for 3rd on Kenny Wallace. It's not a long race tonight. I mean, 200 laps at this track. It's going to go by quick. It already has gone by quick. Lap 59, caution free so far. Boyer tries to go for back-to-back wins yet again this season. Entered a little bit wider than I wanted to. That was quite a big mistake there, trying to cut down in front of Jeremy Mayfield when I did. I'll turn myself. Maybe if I burn the rear tires off of it enough, it'll free the car up. Interesting way to go about it. Oh, we got cars on pit road. This is interesting. Tony Stewart trying to wreck us again. So this is interesting. We're getting pit stops right where we're at right now. I didn't see when I went halfway out of fuel. I'm not going to lie. I have no idea when we hit halfway out of gas. Maybe it's going to be a borderline two-stop race and we got guys trying to split the strategy. I'm not short pitting. I can tell you that much. Keep me out here. I don't feel like getting trapped a lap down. Caught Danny O'Quinn Jr. in a bad spot. Oh, we better clear this car on the bottom. All right, we did. We're good. All right, all the lead lap cars have hit pit road. It's a little short field window for the rest of the field. Kind of had this at Red Ball Raceway last night, too. It's obviously a more competitive race between us and the rest of the field, but the longer we stay out, we're definitely going to be banging ourselves in the sense that we're going to come out well off the lead when we make this four-tire stop, but I think it's possible we make this thing a one stop, though, and that's all we need to do. The only reason I'm able to be where I'm at right now in the running order in first because I qualified first. I'm able to hold on to my track position because I just don't think my lap time's there in the long run. Dayton, great. Thanks for tuning in. $52.53 when the games turned yellow. Thank you for that. Yeah, so we should make it on one stop then. This guy's just... He's there. He doesn't want to move me. There's a huge line of cars behind me. I mean, look at all the guys on the track map, or if you look out of the rearview mirror right off the exit of the corner, look at all the cars behind me I'm holding up. Oh, yep, this is where we get freight train now. I mean, at least I know my car handles well up here. Oh, I tried to cut to the bottom. I thought I was going to have more time than that. Decent drive off turn 4, got back to the inside. Man, I thought it was tight early in the run. 70 laps tires. It is really snug. I'm surprised I was able to stay underneath that guy without making contact with him. Yep, that's what I thought I was going to do the corner before. At least we had him cleared that time. I do really like this track on this game, though. I personally think it's a lot of fun. I said that about the Red Bull Raceway yesterday. It's just something about this track. It makes me feel like I'm at just some random local short track. Only IRP is an actual track, but does give off that local short track vibe, though. Doesn't have a lot of seating. Oh, I blew that corner entry. Oh, he was there, too. I was wondering if that car was going to get underneath me when I went so wide in the middle of the corner. That was exactly the case. Now we're getting freight trained. Just got to hold my line now. Whoa, I thought I held my line. We might have been 3. Oh, boy. Hang on to it. I think I was 3. I'm in the hornet's nest right now. On old tires, there's... I got somebody going low. I got somebody on my outside. Hang on to it, Clint. Hang on to it, buddy. See, I was afraid of one car getting by me for this reason. So I saw that line of traffic behind and just gotta mind our own business. We've got the strategy in our favor. I did the best I could. We got room after Hamlin to get down? I think so. Yeah, I think that was all of them. Alright, we're good. I'm not going to make major adjustment to try to free it up because I am scared I'm going to get too loose. Because again, we got the strategy. It's tight, but at least it's stable in the corners. Like, I can drive it. And I've had worse. Oh, I had to lift to keep it off of him there. We had a little bit of a gap, but now that next line of traffic's going to end up catching us. The only car I'm capable of keeping up with on the speed side of things seems to be Danny O'Quinn Jr. Just can't get that rotation. Oh, jeez. I never got school breakfast. Yeah, I don't think I ever got it, honestly. I always ate breakfast at my house before we went to school in the morning. Yeah, my mom's like, yeah, we're not paying for that. You can eat here in the morning and then go to school. So that's exactly what I did. I never really bought school lunch as much either. I was always one that had a packed lunch. My mom, she worked at a meat market, so we would get like cold cuts. She would be able to bring them home for free. So I would just have a bunch of sandwiches. You know, one week I'd have bologna, the next week I'd have ham, turkey, rotate it, roast beef. It would take a couple months before I'd cycle back to the same, you know, deli meat, so it never got old or repetitive. Gotta make it 10 more laps. How these guys are like passing me on the outside of the racetrack. When they're splitting me top and bottom, that's where it was getting sketchy earlier. A rarefied air where I'm at right now as far as getting mowed around by older cars. We're on a different strategy, so I believe that this is the race winning strategy. I don't think we're going to give up enough time that one stop is going to kill me. We'll make some of this ground back up, and then when they end up pitting the next time, we're going to have to do this to the end of the race again. Really banking on this thing staying green the whole way, though, to be able to run this strategy and hope it works. We've only had one caution-free Busch race all season, so that is the only, question there. We have had one, though, so it's not impossible. Had, I think, 3 truck races go caution-free, but only one Busch race. None on the Cup side. '42 car, Casey Mears down low. I guess I know I've said it already a couple times, but at least I have grip up there. Like, there is a second line there. Almost got to halfway. Oh. A little contact on corner entry, nothing too major. Halfway. Really trusting that lap 52-53. Think we can go to lap 103 and be all right then for fuel. Actually got back around that guy. Halfway home. I'm also trying to lead the most laps, too. Obviously, we led a lot before the green flag pit stops, so we're obviously leading more with it. It's going to be an easier route to try to get the most laps led over Tony Stewart. Okay, I've got to pit this time just to make sure I can get to the bottom of the racetrack while I have the clearance, and we've made it halfway, so... Clean pit road entry. That was better than I did in practice. Going to take a half around a wedge out of the race card. I'm going to drop the air pressure back to where I had it in practice and qualifying too. So, slight air pressure adjustment, which in the tighter side of things would dropping it, but I'm also taking some wedge out. Oh, little hiccup on the pit stop. As long as we're not a lap down when I cycle off a pit road, which I shouldn't be. I might be over a half a lap back off the lead, but... Yeah, Aaron Crocker's out in front now. All right. 18th, over a half a lap down, but we know that the rest of the field is going to have to pit again before the end of the race. But now Clint Boyer can attack as he is the driver on the freshest tires. Everybody pitted right around between lap 60 and lap 70, so... They're probably going 65, and then 70 to finish. Maybe about 70, then the 140, and then that's only 60 to the end. By the way, Jeff Burton's been out of the race for a minute. He's had a red X for quite some time. Just ran my fastest lap. I think this wedge adjustment was definitely the way to go. I mean, I made a slight air pressure adjustment with it, but running quicker than I did at the very beginning of the race with the clean air. I did have a short run car though earlier and not a long run car, so we'll see, you know, if this thing tightens up more over the long run, but I don't think it's going to be as bad as it was. Outside of this 126 car up here, we're going to have a lot of clean air. Thought I could make it to lap 105. I didn't want to risk it because I didn't see for myself exactly when I hit halfway out of gas. We made it to lap 102, so we should be good to the end. Again, for this to really work, we do need this race to stay green the rest of the way. If we caught a caution now, we're going to be back in traffic for when everybody makes a pit stop. And if a caution came out while I'm on the older tires, we're far enough back, we might not have the entire field lapped by the time they cycle out. So that would kind of, I mean, that would be at least better in the sense that we can come down and take fresh tires, but we'd still lose the lead. That I don't like. .550 that last lap, fastest of the race for the number 2. At least it's not Tony Stewart leading all these laps right now, too. Just for the, you know, case in which that maybe he would get the most laps led. That's not going to happen now. He's already led some, so he's locked into 5 bonus points no matter what happens the rest of the day. Why do I look serious? I'm focusing. Trying to focus, man. Why do I look so serious? Oh, Harvick's really falling back. He was up in second at the very beginning of the day. About to pass him for a spot. So he's falling a little outside the top 10. .120 car not giving us a lot of room. Boris said's pitting. So we got quite a few cars on pit road. It's way earlier than I expected them to pit. They may end up pitting 3 times, honestly, with when they're pitting right now. We only got 2 more cars ahead of us. A little contact up here. Somebody trying to exit pit road as another driver was entering. Well, now I don't even know anymore with the fuel window for the rest of the field. Depends on how long Jeremy Mayfield stays out. I think Tony Stewart's in second. Looks like they're like right on top of each other. Probably how Crocker got the second. She probably pitted first the first time. Boyer on these 4 fresh Goodyears is now only a second off the lead. Mayfield's pitting. Tony Stewart stays out another lap. 75 laps to go at the line. 18.521, fastest lap of the day for the 2. And now here comes Stewart into the pits. We're going to have a lap lead again. Ton of free room to roam. Actually kind of lucky with where everybody cycled out of the pits that yeah, there's definitely some drivers who I think are pitting 3 times in this thing. I don't know that, you know, like Mayfield and Stewart, they may make it to the finish. We'll have to wait and see, obviously. We know this 2 car's plenty good to the end. We're just going to get our field passes out of the way right now. We'll swap back to Kevin Harvick in the 29. Who is again in 12th. There's 1 lap down. With Jeff Burton out of the race, we just get more laps with the 29 car instead here. Wow, he just dropped an 18.465. This 29 car is moving. Three wide pass, get back in the top 10. 18.463. This 29's got so much more grip than what I have. I mean, granted, he's got slightly fresher tires, but like besides that, I feel like this car can turn a lot more easily in the center of the corner than what I'm able to get out of the 2-car Boyer. Oh, a lot of contact there. Oh, back up to 7th. He's able to wrap his car like right around the bottom. I really don't feel like I could do that with mine. It's part of why I think I have as much success as I do in this middle to upper groove, especially on corner entry. And then get that cut middle off. Running 18.7s right now. Harvick was 0.3 quicker. It's what we're giving up on about just over 20 lap older tires. Picked up there, 18.5. That had to be extremely close to the 2 cars fastest lap of the race. $18.52. I don't think I've ran below a 5.3 until just now. Took me 140 laps. I might be finding something. Making the pass on Todd Kluber. Harvick's still in 7th. Yep. Well, that's good. He's hanging in there. I doubt Menard's a position. I think I see Jeremy Mayfield up there. That's probably the next spot. Yeah, Menard's a lap down. I should say technically 2 laps down. Well, I mean, we did get with him. 55 laps to go. I would just ride it out. Tell you what, was not expecting that kind of pit strategy by the AI tonight. It's going to make this race a whole heck of a lot easier for us. We had to fight for about 60, 70 laps today, and that was about it. In actuality. Again, assuming it stays green to the finish, of course. Get a caution, one car is going to get their lap back with the free pass. Honestly, the strategy they're on, they may end up pitting for fresh tires again, so I'd probably end up hitting pit road one more time if we did get a yellow. Just to ensure I wasn't going to be on older tires compared to whoever would be in second on the lead lap. So for that reason, hopefully we still stay green. Mystic Shadows, thanks for tuning in. 50 laps left now. Well, I did pass him, now he's passing me right back. It's alright, we've got enough ground back to second. Hit it at lap 102. We still haven't hit halfway out of gas yet. Lap 155 at the line now. Probably able to save a little bit of gas when we were running as Kevin Harvick in that field pass too. So if we were anywhere close when we first came off of pit road, we're definitely well in the good now. I mean, I was expecting we were probably 3 to 4 laps to the good on fuel anyway, but now it's even more than that. At least 6. So that does take out if we do get a green-white checker in this race, which we have had several so far this season. We should be a little bit better than what we were. Halfway out of gas there. Lap 156 coming up on 157. So 6 to 7 laps to the good on fuel to the end of this race. And we only would get one attempt at a green-white checker if we went past the scheduled distance. Back in the 2006 season, that would have been the rules for the green-white checker scenarios. The original overtime procedure. Like maybe creeping in on Biffle. I think it's because I don't have as old of tires as I did that very first run. I had 60 to 70 lap older tires, and they were kind of motivating around me. Plus, I had a tighter car at that time. So on top of the adjustments I made, and I really only have like 20 to 30 lap older tires this time, it's not as much of a deficit. And I think that's why they're hanging there with me. I'll get past here and there. I'm passing a car here or there. But we're not getting freight trained. It also helps that there isn't a ton of traffic around us either. Ooh. Way more passes back and forth with this 118 car than I would have liked. Feels like between the two of us, we're actually racing for something here. He's racing not to go 2 laps down, I guess. I'm still not going to count out that we could see a caution, only because if we start to see cars pit again, we tend to get cautions in the middle of green flag stops at short tracks. And I know we didn't yesterday at Red Bull Raceway. Our only caution was real early in the race. And we haven't so far tonight, for instance, as well. But I've seen it many, many times before on this game. So it's not over for whoever's in second if they get a caution to get that free pass in the right spot. So we may see cars pit as early as about lap 80 or 180. Should only be about 10 laps from now. There's definitely going to be cars that will pit 3 times. It might be everybody other than ourselves that might pit 3 times. But if not all, I think a vast majority of them will definitely make their way down. I haven't seen Tony Stewart in an extremely long time. Well, we know. Well, I don't want to say he was battling for the lead. He was with Mayfield, but that was also in the middle of green flag stops. There were a few cars ahead of him that pit before that. I think he's going to flirt with the top 5. He'll probably finish somewhere between 3rd and 6th. Guess it depends on if he pits again, because he's probably the best on fuel outside of us, of course. So in that regard, he could end up finishing 2nd still, which is what he did yesterday when we won at Red Bull Raceway in dominating fashion as well. Finished 2nd. We only put 15 points up on him. We haven't ran a road course race in the Busch Series yet this season. Our first one will be tomorrow night at Watkins Glen. That will start at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time tomorrow on the channel. That will be an interesting one. I always see a lot of cautions in our Watkins Glen races on these EA Sports games. A lot of crashes in the bus stop from the AI. That we can pretty much bank on. We just haven't had a Busch race yet on a road course on this season. Still got to race at Old Spice Speedway at some point in time as well. I'd imagine that's probably going to be another long 200 lapper like it was on NASCAR 06. I don't think I ran there at all when I was on the custom schedule season. Costume ready for Thursday? I don't plan on dressing up this year for Halloween on the channel. I don't have anything this year. I don't want to be redundant with doing the same thing as I've done twice already on the channel, so I think I'm going to be skipping this year. But I'll definitely have you covered next year, and I'll hold you guys to that. I'll hold myself to it. So mark my words. Be Ryan Blaney. I mean, I feel like I'm pretty close already. He's been growing out his playoff beard as he's done the last couple years. I've been growing out my beard a little longer during the NASCAR playoffs until Blaney gets eliminated, which might be this weekend. So I only got about another maybe 4 or 5 days left of this thing, and then I'm going to be trimming it. I'm not going to shave it all the way off, but I will take quite a bit of It started getting to the point, like last week, I noticed it's starting to get a little bit out of control on the sides. So I usually don't like having it lengthy on the sides. I do around my chin and on my jawline, but yeah, it's a little longer. But I mean, even if he makes it through this week, I only have like another week after that, then I'll end up having my usual facial hair back. It'll be more clean cut. I figured I'd do it this year. I'm like, yeah, you know what? What the heck? Probably got a deep playoff run in him, and here we are. Considering he did it last year. $16 to go. A lot of cars on pit road. Ten laps left this time by. It's going to be the second straight night that we're going to end up lapping the field. One thing for me to have one less pit stop than the rest of the field, it looks like we're going to have two less pit stops than the rest of the field. Got that 2-lap lead, so that tells me everybody has pitted. Not just one extra time, but twice now. Puts us in the clear if we got a late caution. Free pass would only give them 1 lap back. We'll still have a lap lead. 6 laps to go as we're getting down to the end of the race here. Very quick one tonight. Caution free, and it was already going to be a short race as it is, so this just made the race pace fly even quicker. This stream's barely going to be over an hour. It's a quick Busch race. Somewhat longer one tomorrow, though. 82 laps at Watkins Glen. It's almost the length of a full Cup race, which is the usual race length for Watkins Glen Xfinity or Busch races. So we'll be ready. That's why we're starting a half hour earlier also tomorrow than what we did tonight. Ready to go. Really hoping Kevin Harvick still capitalizes and gets to top 10. Final lap. Our second Busch race to go caution-free this season. And Clint Boyer will be the victor. So checkered flag waves. Back-to-back wins again this season. Win number 13. And Harvick did get a top 10. It looks like he finished in 7th. And then a product of leading as many laps as we did percentage-wise tonight, we're going to save the engine. Going to do just the old Polish victory lap. And call it a night. We'll come back tomorrow and try to do it all over again. Watkins Glen, definitely going to be an interesting one. I think we'll have speed. Will it be race winning speed is going to be the next question. All right, Aaron Crocker ends up second. Tony Stewart finishes 3rd place tonight. 17 laps left for Crocker, 14 for Stewart. We led 160 of 200 laps with the pit strategy of Only pitted once. Everybody else pitted twice. So easy win for us. 2-lap margin of victory. 1 hour, 3 minutes, and 8 seconds total time of the race. Barely over an hour, as I mentioned. 22 lead changes. Again, no cautions. Caution-free for the second time in the Busch season. 130.36 mile per hour average race speed. Outside of the top three, you had Kenny Wallace in 4th, J.J. Yaley in 5th, Jeremy Mayfield 6th. Like I mentioned already, your teammate Kevin Harvick 3 laps down in 7th. M. Sidney, a fantasy driver, in 8th. Justin Smith 9th. Art Kennedy, a few more fantasy drivers rounding out the top 10. Our other teammate, Jeff Burton, blew a motor pretty early in the race, lap 75. He was the last of the 3 that did blow an engine. Bernie Lamar, and one of the Busch brothers, Kurt Busch, because Kurt started 2nd. So Kurt Busch, Bernie Lamar, Jeff Burton, all blew an engine in tonight's race. All right, now we'll take a look at that points lead. Which we should get 20 points over Stewart tonight. 5 more than we did yesterday after that win. So we should have a 145-point lead going into Watkins Glen tomorrow. Where Stewart still remains winless despite finishing, again, 2nd and 3rd of these last 2 races that we did win. Well, we didn't win at Martinsville. Barely got a top 5. He ended up finishing 14th. So we've put a little bit of a gap over him now. 803 points back to Crocker, who finished 2nd tonight and is now up to 3rd in points, passes Jeremy Mayfield. So that's crazy how much of a gap between 1st and 3rd. Kevin Harvick's still 6th in points. And Jeff Burton with the engine failure falls back 1 spot now to 12th. Kurt Busch still in the top 10 after his engine failure. J.J. Yaley up to 7th in points, just kind of quietly chipping away. Big gap, though, to get up to 6th. Harvick's in no man's land. He's like 200 points ahead of Yaley behind him, and he's still like 300 points behind Kenny Wallace in front of him. He might just be in 6th the rest of the season at this rate. All right, that's going to wrap up tonight's stream. Again, as always, thank you for tuning in. We'll be back again 6:30 p.m. Eastern tomorrow night at Watkins Glen. NASCAR 07 Busch Series action. Hope to see you for that one. Should be a fun race yet again.